No Practice Podcast, where we cover the only sport in the world where there is no practice. With your mini rod driving host, Adam Kester, Tyler Slaw, and Chase Richardson. Strap in for some debates on the world of pulling, exclusive special guests, and a whole lot of nonsense BS. The No Practice Podcast starts now.
Welcome. It's Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Time it is. Time for the No Practice Podcast. I'm Adam Kester, your host. With me tonight,
Every other Wednesday.
Not every
Wednesday. Not every Wednesday.
Right. Get it right, Adam. Come on now.
Tyler Slaw.
Horrible intro.
Yeah, might as well go ahead and put another markup around. Chase interrupts everybody like normal. I'm your host, Adam Kester. With me, like always, Tyler Slaw, Chase Richardson. How's it going, guys? It's been a couple weeks.
It's going good, Adam. I'm surviving the frozen tundra of Michigan. We went all of December without getting any snow, which is very unusual for Michigan, but now we are getting absolutely hammered. We've probably got anywhere from 20 plus inches around here. It's absolute chaos. I plow my driveway and about 20 minutes later, it's blown right shut. I had a lumber delivery truck get stuck in my driveway today. I had people calling me. I was at work. My dad had to come with a tractor. Good old farmer Bruce to the rescue. Had to tow out the lumber delivery truck after he was in the ditch. It's a mess out there, but we're surviving and we're keeping warm, so we'll take it.
Do people go to work in the snow in Michigan, Tyler?
All of us real blue collar employees do. There's some people like my sister that work in the school district, and they just get free snow days like every other day when it's like snowing out at least an inch per day. So I go to work.
We're Kentucky.
In your plethora of vehicles, what do you drive? I know you have a bunch of vehicles.
Yeah, my selection for a daily driver is a 1979 Chevy pickup truck with four-wheel drive that I bought from fellow mini rod puller Dusty Price. I paid $150 for it. It sat in a barn for 25 years and didn't move. And I bought it. I've got less than $1,000 into it, and it gets me to work every day and back just fine. I'm kind of a minimalist person when it comes to vehicles. Minimalist meaning I don't have any vehicle that is very great, but I have quite a few vehicles that aren't very great. So we get the job done.
Same with your hair barber, right?
That's right. I haven't gotten a haircut.
Minimal hair barber.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a haircut in, I would say, the better part of 5 years. I'm pretty low maintenance.
That's all right.
Well, the good news is, despite your hair and your choice in cars, we are back for episode 8, No Practice Podcast. Every show keeps getting bigger. Numbers are great. Sponsors are still calling, but we refuse sponsorships to this present day, but we will wait for one that's big one day. But last show with Jeff Hurt was a great one. We have a very special groundbreaking show tonight, the first ever ladies edition of the No Practice Podcast, featuring a couple of well-known two-wheel drive competitors, Miss Bethany Nelson, 2023 Pro Pulling League two-wheel drive champion. Her sister-in-law, Misty Nelson, from Midnight Motorsports. Obviously, we're all about highlighting the big names, the premier people from all teams, and those two kind of represent Midnight Motorsports, despite what their significant others bring to the table. But excited to have them on here. The Nelsons, that anyone follows two-wheel drive pull knows that they are a household name, and like I said, past champions, getting ready for the Farm Machinery Show and some news out of their camp. I don't know who's driving what or who's going to be doing what, but I heard that they acquired a mini rod, and they're going to let Adam teach them how to put it in gear. Rumor has it. So, Adam, has that tried to show for your shop yet?
I don't know what those European transmissions are all about, so he'll have to figure it out himself.
I actually don't know a lot about that endeavor that they're into. So it'd be interesting to see who, what, and how they got involved in that, and really wish them luck in the mini rod class, running in the Pro Pulling League against the other 3 tractors they run against. So looking forward to having them on the show, and obviously great to be welcomed by you two guys. Did you all hear the news, Adam, Tyler? How was were your inboxes busy this past weekend?
I did receive an email with a couple of truck show invites to head to Louisville, Kentucky. Bruce got one, and I was pleased to also receive one. Chase, did you receive one?
I did. Our one tractor received it. So this kind of goes back to the farm machinery show last show. There's really no criteria out there that exists. I think people speculate, but how do you even get in the truck show? And for pulling fans, I don't know where we are now, but thousands plus are going to be listening to this. The truck show is an event, I guess it's on its 3rd year, Mid-America Truck Show in Louisville, Kentucky, not the Farm Machinery Show, but Mid-America Trucking Show. I think it is the largest trucking show in the country, or if not one of the biggest. They have adopted a truck and tractor pull 2 years ago on a Saturday evening of those sessions. So they bring the greatest class and pull in the mini rod class, and don't know how you get in, but I guess they let guys with illegal tractors get in, and they let me in. Adam, I don't know how was your email inbox this weekend?
But that's okay. I'm busy, and if we didn't run good enough to get in there, understand. I will be there possibly. For anybody in the industry, they called MATS, MATS, Mid-American Trucking Show. So I'll be in the shell booth like I always have been with my tractor, doing the displays. We've been doing these events for a long time, promoting pulling, promoting shell rotella. So I'll be there in some way or fashion. It'll be interesting to see, in the show, I guess. I'll see if I stick around for the pull or not. It's kind of chaotic to get your vehicle out of any trade show, so we'll probably spend most of the evening trying to do that. Last year was an absolutely nightmare, so not fun. But
is the way you understand you have to finish top 5 in a point circuit to get in? I don't know. Is that even proof?
I believe so. I know that's been the standard in years past. Adam, what did you finish in NTPA points this past year?
I think our highest place in tractor was 6th.
Oh, just missed it.
Yeah.
Well, there's only 4 that ran the entire PPL circuit. So Adam, just go run over there next year.
It's okay. I think.
I'm kidding, Tyler.
And who knows? This may even be just the start of something, because for me, I do believe, with as busy as I'm getting with my work schedule and having a baby now and the time it takes, we've really, as a family, kind of, and the people that go with it, the schedule, and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We want to run for points. It gets harder and harder to do every year. Dad used to be a huge part of getting stuff done throughout the week. Guys know it's not just getting red tires or.
All right, Chase.
And our latest reviews are in. Remove Adam from the show. Adam, the fans have spoken. Our backstage guy chose to freeze you, but regardless of
Wi-Fi,
regardless of that, and then also we've heard, the truck show, that is an honor to get in there. It's a new event. Excited to go there, and we like to give each other a hard time, but it could easily be me sitting there, not the show, as much as Adam or as anybody. I think Tyler and I said one time, there's probably literally 50 vehicles that could roll and win any pull at any time. So we like to heckle, but he's off air. We'll try to be nice while he's off air. And then also there's a rumor going around that I heard they were switching the class out, the truck show, the super stock class.
Yeah, we're going to see some modifieds, aren't we?
They're going to have some multi-engine tractors there. Again, pulling fans across the world. We're not an official promoter nor organization on this podcast. These are our opinions, our own, but we do spread rumors. But the rumor is they're trading out super stocks for modified tractors. So we'll see where our credibility goes to this. But that is what I heard.
Well, what is really better than multi-engine tractors indoors, wide open throttle, sitting in the stands, and hearing and feeling that much power rolling through the air? I mean, everything's always exaggerated indoors, in my opinion. So I feel like seeing the big
Yeah.
tractors run indoors is something special.
Mini rods are pretty awesome indoors too. Obviously, we are a bit biased, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
when your dad, I think it was your dad 2 years ago when he pulled that first time in Freedom Hall, and you think he may have been test soaked when he went down through there. Like, holy shit! Why haven't they not been doing this forever?
Right.
But
Yeah, that was
yeah,
fantastic. I believe when he got done with his pull, his front tires were for sure on the concrete heading out the exit at Freedom Hall, and his rear tires were darn near to the concrete, burning it in. And to the credit of the officials, they decided to look at a few more, and a few more did not blow it out the end like he did. Mr. Chase Richardson was headed to blow it out the end until his transmission came out of gear. So shoulda, coulda, woulda, you would have been up there, but things didn't
I've
work
been
out.
I've been told I was almost there before, but always end up blowing something up. So not the
Yeah,
first time.
that'll happen.
Adam, thanks for joining us. We were nice while you were
Yeah, I don't
gone,
know what.
but really sorry about you not getting the truck show. Hopefully, 2024 goes better for you.
Well, and the best part about if Adam would have made it to the truck show is he could have won a substantial amount of money, because we cannot bring up the truck show without mentioning that that has got to be the highest purse per class pull put on all year.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
the winner of
Shout out to Mike Connie.
Yes, shout out to Mr. Mike Connie for paying out the winner of every single class $10,000. There's no other poll like that does that. They take all the proceeds from the event and they put it towards a charitable cause. What could be better than putting it back to the pullers and putting it back to a charitable cause like an event like that? Yeah,
Maybe we should. Maybe others should. They should let Mike Connie just do all the pulls.
I mean,
Then this could be a
he
profession.
seems to roll out the red carpet for everybody pretty well and really set the precedent high, set the bar high, I should say, of what any poll
Yeah,
could and should be.
and for sure, pulling fans, you won't hear any official advertising about this event. We can advertise it because we can say what we want on here, but they're not allowed to start promoting that specific pull until a certain day in February, which only gives them 3 or 4 weeks to promote. But we might talk to Mike. We might just start promoting on this podcast since we have the most viewers out there in probably the industry this time of year. So we're definitely I think that's a good idea. We might reach out to Mike. That might be our first unofficial, non-official sponsor, Mac Trailers, and promoting the Mac Winter Nationals, because they do have mini rods. But that is latest news on our end. I think it's time to that part of the show where we can weigh in on a topic or two. And I think last week, Adam's back with us. He kept referencing, Adam likes to go on rants where we talk about rules, and we're all about talking and discussing. Everyone has opinions of rules on the show, but anytime a rule was brought up last show, he said we can't even decide how far we go in pulls. We go 380 foot or 330 foot or somewhere in between there. So what better topic today than pull-offs versus floating finish? Adam, your microphone's working. Hit us with a nice intro.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I feel like a total dipshit there with my internet, but I finally got all that.
You are what your internet is.
Yeah, a little shady, but no, I think it's a good point. I think as we go here, I'm gonna rag on some people a little bit. I find it awkward that we can't figure out how far we're going after 10 years of pulling. Sometimes you'll see somebody go 380, sometimes they go 330, sometimes they're 300. You just don't know what it's going to be. But I mean, I think I'm looking at this from a spectator standpoint. If you look at the end of the track, whatever the marker's at, 300, 350, whatever it's at, 330, the fan just wants to see people go past the last marker. The question is, financially, after you go past that marker, if there's 1, 2, 5, 10 guys that go across that line, you come back and run. And I think they kind of went to the wayside with the pull-offs because a lot of people are bitching about, having to put a second run on their stuff without any compensation for it. I don't mind a pull off. I think it's actually, as a puller, it's part of the deal. We've always done it. I guess I would like to see a pull off, unless the track conditions are bad enough that we don't want to make a second pass. What do you guys think about this?
Tyler, why don't you illustrate? You're the best illustrator on this show. Obviously, with that little marker board you have, you do a good job drawing that. Illustrate for these fans that are just tuning in or learning the sport, the differences in, say, call it a NTPA or a pro pulling league, and even outlaw. You may not know outlaw, but I attended an outlaw pull this past summer. I thought the way they did it was pretty interesting. Why don't you just kind of explain the differences in them?
I would say that Pro Pulling League, I believe the rule is that they can look at the first few so many tractors, and there is a rigid number to that listed in the rule books before they have to say whether or not there is going to be a pull-off, which I know seems a little overwhelming going into a class, but it is rigid where they will give you an answer. I forget if it's 3 vehicles, 5 vehicles, something like that. Over in NTPA, I feel like it's a lot more common where they will say floating finish and we're running a 350-foot track, which seems a little contradictory, because does that mean if you go over 350 that you get to come back? Or is it a floating finish, meaning go as far as you can? And in all honesty, everything's fine and wonderful until you get several people blowing it out the end that are receiving a red flag at the end of their run before they're done moving. That's where it gets a little, I guess, hectic in my opinion, because you almost just have to ignore that finish line flagman and go for every inch that you can, like Brandon Simon at Chapel Hill burning out with his rear tires in the grass at the end of the track. Because you don't know, it's floating finish, but in X length track.
But
so
you got to remember, they're hammering the safety card right now. It's all about safety. So I mean, what's safe?
I mean, I don't know. You tell me what's safe, Adam.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I believe when a tractor's running off course, and burning in, is that safe? Probably not.
But the fans love it.
Oh, absolutely. I think it adds a level of excitement that you're not going to see anywhere, but be consistent. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much parity between the classes that just doesn't make any sense to me at times. I guess that you'll take, for instance, we'll just throw it out there. We're at Rockwell this year, and New Generation Plus Limkeys go out there and they go 375 or 380, and they reset this. Made a beautiful pass. They reset it, and the class backed up a little bit. The next night, and no offense to the Connies, but they went out there 380 and they left it. So what kind of message are you delivering whenever you can't be consistent from week to week, track to track, or night to night?
If you were the tech official and the first tractor goes 380 foot, where probably they said at the driver's meeting, I wasn't there, so I guess I'm putting words into somebody's mouth, that floating finish, but it's a 350-foot track. I would imagine they said that. Because
floating finish, but it's a 350-foot track.
Yeah, we all hear that.
Who knows what they say? I mean,
so assuming they said that, which is perhaps a bit of a stretch, if the first tractor goes 380 foot and you're the tech official, are you going to leave that, or are you going to reset it?
Me, as being a tech official, it's getting reset, no doubt about it. But the next night when somebody goes 380, I'm not going to go, oh, well, we made a mistake last night, we're going to keep this one. No, you reset that one too. Just be consistent, whatever it is.
You guys have been talking about from a competitive standpoint, and again, I haven't said this in a few shows, but I'm looking at it right currently through the lens of how to grow the sport from an entertainment standpoint.
To bring back the top 3 every time from an entertainment.
Put a brick wall at the end of the track and let us run through it. I don't give a shit from an entertainment standpoint. That'd be awesome.
You got to get there first.
I'll do it. I will drive through a brick wall.
But seriously, like, if we want to take this serious and grow this sport, you're a fan coming in. Okay, so we know whoever in NFL, whoever scores the most points,
it's a goal.
Touchdowns, field goals, it's going to win. Obviously, distance wins in our sport, but like, one day we go to this event and 370 foot was the winner, but this pull they went 350 and they pulled twice. Like that's so confusing. What the hell these guys doing?
Yeah,
Like they don't even
that's
know
exactly
don't even
what
know how to do their own rules.
That's what I'm saying. Just find consistency. If you're going to be 350,
Yeah.
always be 350. You don't see on a football field sometimes the touchdowns at the 20-yard line. You know what I mean? Like they don't move the fucking end zone up and down the field. It is a common place. That is what the team strives to get, is to that end zone. And it's the same everywhere you go.
And
I mean,
and I do think that one class for sure, because I know a little bit about it. And secondly, you know, the unlimited class, I don't know if those guys can run twice because of just pure rear ends. I don't know if that'd be a good idea in that class from a rear end standpoint. Engines, I think guys stuff can hold up. And then from what I've heard, the diesel super class, it's actually interesting. I've heard some diesel super guys saying they want to start running twice again to kind of make it where when you pull up to the sled, you got to have a vehicle that's prepared to run twice.
Correct.
That's the interesting part to it too.
I mean, if you look at the Europeans, man, they have like a warm-up lap where the sled's really light, and maybe you don't get to the end. You know, you have to get, oh, this is a layup. We're going to walk it on down there. We're going to get the second pass and make it. Sometimes they don't make it. And maybe there's a lot of excitement because it is lighter, but I don't know. I think the fan one, as a puller, this is just my opinion. As a puller, I look at racing as in we pack up all our shit, we drive 6 hours, and we have 15 seconds of fun per vehicle. If we got to make 2 15-second passes, I think it would be a little bit more fun, personally. Some people, maybe not so. As an unlimited puller, maybe you don't need to be running your stuff back to back. The planetaries don't like it. You know, there's just a lot of shit you got to check for vibration. Whatever. But, you know, I think there's a scenario. I'm just saying be consistent with the length of the track.
Yeah. In the sled guys' defense, I mean, we say they need to be more consistent, but how inconsistent are we as pullers? Like there's so many changing variables as far as, the horsepower we can make with the air, how good the track is. We all criticize the sled guys when we have a winning, distance of 301 feet. And that may be the same weight and sled trip that, the finishing distance was 345 feet. So to compare it to football with, yards and downs and touchdowns, I feel like isn't really fair. I mean, a yard's a yard. Like there's way more changing variables than what we've got going on.
They don't let the people on the sidelines NFL stadium drink beer. You gotta be in the stands. Big difference. Exactly. I shouldn't say that right now.
That's a bad comment for that, Chase, but whatever.
At the end of the day,
I mean, you have beer cans rolling out of your 2-wheel drive. You drink in the vehicle. I mean, what the hell?
Shame.
Prove it. At the end of the day, I think there's no debate that the entertainment side of this, pull-offs or bring the top 3 back, is definitely a no-brainer. If we can ever get a way to implement that, I don't know what, obviously revenue and money and everything, but from a fan standpoint, I remember years ago, Adam Tyler, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, Wayne Purser and Bill Voorhees were at the farm show on the Saturday night finals, and they pulled and they had a sled reset and they had a second reset, and then they both pulled it out the end again, and they brought them back at the end of the show, them two, to pull a third time, like an additional pull off. So that was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. But it was only done by accident. So I think there's all kinds of ways, and this is a topic we could probably talk about a lot. And fans, we love your comments. Maybe we'll get to a show one day where we can
we see here that
let fans see what they want.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people say regardless of the distance, the top 3 come back no matter what.
Yes. For once on a weigh-in, instead of just kind of ending indecisively, can we all agree from an entertainment standpoint, from the fans' perspective, let's bring back the top 3 every time?
Regardless.
Let's do it.
Whatever the distance is the top 3 or the 280s.
Minimally, let's say at least the top 3 on a 2-day event on day 2. Let's bring them all back.
I say every day. Hey, we eliminated the 25 and over entries. Well, actually, we helped eliminate it. We just couldn't get Tyler's tractor back in legally.
No. But see, here's what's even funnier about this, Chase, is now the way I understand it, there's going to be 3 different licenses. So it's even going to be more confusing. You're going to have points tractors. You're going to have a license for people that have points. You're going to have a license for people that don't have points. But then there's going to be a Grand National license for people that want to try to come to some of these events.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe we'll carry that over to next week.
Don't overwhelm me.
Let's not even talk about it because this is rash decision making at its finest. They can't figure it out.
Okay, so
hey Adam, in your Wi-Fi. Hey Adam, go check your Wi-Fi. We got to move on.
No, we're good. I know my Wi-Fi is good now.
Top 3 are coming back. Every class.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Except for the Unlimiteds, because Chase doesn't want to have to work on something.
No, screw them.
No, they don't let me work on it anyway.
when my dad ran a 5-engine unlimited, that was his favorite part, was pull-offs, because everybody else ran their shit so hard that they couldn't come back, and he ran conservative
there's a
enough
lot to that.
to get your 2 passes. So, all right, there we go. It's decided.
Moving
Chase,
on.
what's next?
Check your Wi-Fi, Adam.
What's next?
I think it's one of our favorite segments, and fans have loving this since it got introed a few shows back. The No Practice podcast. For those wanting need a reminder, this is the only sport in the world where there is no practice. If you do know of one, please email us or send us a message. But the No Practice podcast. I wish there was practice segment. I think this is about the 4th one we've done. So it's time for a newest and latest edition of the Man, I Wish There Was Practice segment.
Oh, what are we featuring tonight?
I believe it's a recent event from this past polling season.
It's his previous year, boys. It's a customer of mine. His name is Andrew Sprock. He's a 2-wheel drive puller pulling the Western Series. I think this pull was probably somewhere in Missouri or something like that, where he was, I think, one of the first trucks in the class or something like that. Takes off down the track on a good-looking run, opens it up, got really good speed, and halfway down the track, the truck splits in half. Don't see that very often. But as we run the video,
do we have a video of this? We have to.
We have to have a video of this somewhere.
I think our back office guy fell asleep.
Yeah, I think our producer's sleeping.
Producer backstage. It's time for the video. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
We didn't even get the intro. Man, I wish there was practice.
Man, I wish there was practice. It's the No Practice podcast. A 2-wheel drive truck gets ripped in half.
Here it is. Tyler, go ahead and narrate this for us.
All right, so he's got the green flag at an ITPA event. He starts to apply the throttle. The truck comes off the line. Sled's moving pretty good. Front end's starting to pick up. He's wide open. Things are going pretty good for this young man. And all of a sudden, the truck rips in half. He puts his hands up as if there's a cop with him at gunpoint in the cab. And he is slamming his hands down on the wheel. And I mean, you see a couple of fire department gentlemen walk out there in a real hurry because the front of the truck has become detached from the rear of the truck. The price on
audio only listeners, everything he's saying is true. You need to go to YouTube because this is not believable.
The truck literally rips in half. So you've got so much torque from the rear axle being pulled back by the sled, and the motor just wants to go forward so badly. And the frame,
box tops off.
The main structural integrity of the vehicle literally breaks in half, and the body goes flying upwards, and he's hands in the air, and he just doesn't know what's going on there.
Fellas, if there wasn't a cutout in the top of that truck body right there, I think his noggin probably would have got smacked.
And
the way that thing came down.
Much like one of our last segments for the Man, I Wish There Was Practice, when we phoned in Mr. Pete Miza, I feel like we can't touch on this topic without calling up the man behind the wheel in this particular vehicle.
Be easy on him now.
Can we ask him why he threw his hands up?
Yeah, well, Chase, why in the hell did you get out of that T-bucket and take off running? You just do shit you don't know what the hell.
Andrew, how's it going?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. We're on the No Practice podcast live here, breaking down that hot video of when your 2-wheel drive truck broke in half mid-pass. Walk us through your thoughts on that and break it down for us, will you please?
Well, I just want to say it was fun. You should try it sometime.
I mean, it did
love
look
it.
like a good time. We're never going to say remember the time you didn't. And right now, we're looking at a video of your truck breaking in half. So I will give you that. No, not too many people can say that.
Well, I treated it like a normal pull, you know. I mean, got hooked up and eased on the throttle a little bit. Then right around 100 feet, I went wide open, and it was so smooth of a pass. And I thought got a good hook going for me. And then all of a sudden, I just got brought to an abrupt halt.
What?
And I'm looking around, just kind of bumfuzzled, and
Bumfuzzled. That's a great word, by the way.
Puzzled.
yeah,
Can we get a bum puzzle shirt?
and put my hands up in the air. And,
I saw that. It was like you were at gunpoint, like
yeah.
hands in the air.
And then I kind of realized the motor stopped. Well, after I killed the engine, and just got to stop and kind of ticked off a little bit because I was kind of upset and wondering what the heck happened. The ITPA official came alongside and asked if I was okay, and I told him, yeah, what's wrong with my engine though? He kind of looks at me like I'm stupid, you know.
Yeah.
He said, well, nothing's wrong with the engine. Look behind you. So I ended up looking down, and I said, oh, shit.
No, you did not expect your truck to be ripped in half now, did you?
No, it was just a freak accident on a crap frame.
On a crap frame. A crap or cracked frame? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Crap.
Cracked. Got it.
No, crap.
Hey,
Oh, it was
him
crap.
about ask him about
we
the
ended
Dodge
up,
body
looking
they
at
just painted.
inside the frame rails.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they were broken there before.
Oh, that's a bad deal. So it was kind of sectioned and welded together, unbeknownst to you, probably prior owners.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't reinforced, so we're like, well, that explains everything. So
Yeah.
it covers a lot. Yeah,
what was
paint
what
covers
was
a
the
lot.
what was the ride back to the trailer like?
Yeah. How was the ride back to the trailer? We've all seen that viral video. What do you say? They say to blow the trailer or the tractor out the end, but you're supposed to bring the whole truck with, not just the front half. Isn't that how that went?
Yeah, I was supposed to pull the whole truck out the gate, not just half of it, you know. And then my dad here, he hooked me up and just pulled me right along like I was something in Tokyo Drift, you know.
Yeah, of course, drifting all around.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Did you sustain any injuries at all?
No, I didn't. I think we were about 5 minutes from coming home and just had some back pain after that. And like, I think I'm going to relax for a little bit.
Yeah, that's pretty understandable. So what did you do with the chassis? Did you put it back together?
No. We ended up scrap iron paw. Yep, scrap iron paw is exactly where it went.
Oh, you didn't sell it half off?
We still got the front half if anybody wants it.
Did you ever consider making the back half a mini
we
rod?
ended up getting a new frame from Modern Machines. So,
Oh, nice. I'm sure that one won't break in half. They're pretty proven.
well, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Chase was wondering, did you ever consider taking the back half of the two-wheel drive frame and making a mini rod out of it?
You'll never catch me in a mini rod.
Oh, come on now. Why not?
I seen those things goes berserk. I think I'll be safe in my two wheel, even though it's split in half.
Yeah, we've never broken a mini rod in half, though. Come on now.
What do you think about people that What do you think about the people that drive mini rods with their legs wrapped around the motor? What do you think about the people that drive a mini rod with their legs wrapped around the motor?
Chase is wondering what you think about people that drive mini rods with their legs wrapped around the motor.
Well, they're nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Those people are all deranged. Well, we got to give you credit for ripping a two-wheel drive pulling truck in half. I don't know that I know of any time that's been done other than when you did it yourself. We've got the video up right now of you, waving to the camera, getting towed back to the trailer. No body, no rear end. You're still steering the steering wheel, getting towed back to the trailer. And I got to say, you're in good spirits. Kudos to you for that.
Yeah, he was still in driver mode. Yeah. I still got this. I say Adam calls it his chassis breaker. So, I mean.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Well, thank you for coming on, sir, and giving us your thoughts through that. And may you never rip another one in half again. All right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll be out this season.
All right. Thank you, sir. You have a good evening.
Thanks,
You too,
man.
thank you.
Bye.
Good luck.
Well, how about that? To hear it from the man.
Those guys are great, man. They've been customers of mine here for a few years. Paul and Andrew Sprock, good guys. Kind of
Notice why Adam didn't
rekindling
say a word that entire conversation because they're his
Well,
customers.
you can't because he's on the phone. You know,
Yeah.
here's what's sad. I'll tell you a little story. So they bought this truck from Don Finney, which anybody that knows two-wheel drive pulling the moving and grooving over there in Illinois. That was the truck they bought, and this was only they only put a few passes on it. They had just got the body painted and lettered. I think that was the first pass that they made on it, and it broke in half and destroyed the truck. So kind of sad beyond that. Luckily for him, I got the engine here actually right now. A couple weeks ago, I tore it apart to kind of look it over. It all looked pretty good. When that thing disconnected itself, RPM shot upstairs. I don't think he had a rev chip in it. Went over 11,000. But
yeah, you don't need rev chips. Those are overrated.
All the rod bolts, when I went to go loosen them up, they usually torque to about 100 foot-pounds, and I think they were about 30 to 40 foot-pounds. So very lucky that it didn't take any rods out the side. But I did Magnaflux.
We torque ours at 300. We torque ours at 300, Adam.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you got them
310.
high-dollar motors. I can't afford a cylinder head on one of your guys' engines, so whatever you guys do is your own deal. But no, really good dudes. Actually, Paul Sprock, I kind of told you guys this story a little bit earlier. Andrew's dad was ran over by a tractor. So they're farmers in Missouri, and farming is a pretty dangerous thing. It about killed him. He was in the hospital for a long time, but he seems to be recovering well, and him and his son are back out pulling two-wheel drives again. And great family. Love working with those guys. They're really fun, energetic guys about pulling. So
Shout out to them for coming on our podcast. That's one. Have
you guys ever seen
a
two-wheel drive cut in half? I've never seen that.
Not mid pull, Adam.
Cut in half in the shop, but not pulling.
Yeah, not mid pull. Bit of a difference.
Jason Sullivan's damn near broke in half at Bowling Green 2 years ago, I think, a couple of years ago. So that's right.
But
Wayne Van Valkenburg says Wayne Roush broke one in half. I remember that. I believe. Do you guys remember seeing that?
I don't.
I didn't know that. Maybe we can get that video up for our next week.
Let's get that video for next week. We'll give him a call.
So moving on to the highlight of the episode 8 of the No Practice podcast. Everyone's tired of hearing us. They're here to see the stars of the show.
Yes.
Proud to introduce Ladies' Night, and I don't mean that happy hour wise. Miss Misty and Bethany Nelson from Midnight Motorsports, somewhere in their homes or shops in Illinois. We haven't had a chance to see them yet, but welcome to the No Practice podcast, Misty and Bethany. I see you both. Oh, wow. So right from the start.
Right.
Yeah, right from the start. Normally it's pulling teeth and you're fighting Wi-Fi connections and attire situations and language barriers, but I can see you guys look very professional coming on the air tonight. This is not David Letterman. I don't know if y'all have watched any shows, but this is far from it. So
that's what you get with ladies. We're organized.
That's right.
Yeah,
we need that.
You're getting ready to show the rest of the world the side of pulling that nobody knows, and that's the ladies that make it go. First off, I've totally forgot to send over. So have you guys watched the show before? A couple of episodes here and there. Did you see the Billy Beers show by chance?
I did not. No.
Okay. Well, after Billy Beers is one of our best shows, and after that show, we had to draft up a legal document to send everybody to sign to say you cannot say this, and that. Episode 6 for you people that don't know.
Chase gets his feelings hurt.
Part of that requirement is also you have to drink 6 drinks before coming on the show. Like you being a guest, you have to drink 6 drinks. So did you all get your drinks in this evening, ladies?
I got a couple.
Yeah.
A couple, Bethany?
6 drinks, and we may not have even made it to the podcast.
Okay. Well, that's part of the game. So thanks for coming on.
I'm having one. So.
Okay. Well, hey, we'll stay on till you get through 6. How about that? And then you may have a sponsorship opportunity tomorrow.
That might get rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys for coming on. Congratulations on your successful 2023 season. Did you you all got top 3 in the points, if I'm not mistaken, and the championships, and as well as your invitations into the Farm Machinery Show next month. We said at the start, but I don't know if we had a 2-wheel drive guest on this point of the show, but the Nelson name's a household name, and obviously you two are a big part of what makes it go on. So thanks for coming on. And for those of you who don't know Bethany and Misty, starting with Misty, tell them who you are, tell them how you got into Midnight Motorsports, and then from there we can pass on to Bethany. Give us a little intro.
I'm Misty Nelson, the driver of After Midnight. Got into Midnight Motorsports by Mary and Jeremy Nelson. In the past, I was a track official and been in pulling all my life.
Same. So go ahead, Chase.
Go ahead, Bethany. Nope.
All right.
Nope.
So I also married a Nelson, but before there were Nelsons, Misty and I knew each other way before then, just to put that out there. It wasn't just a Nelson connection. So yeah, my cousin also was on ITPA board way back when Misty's dad was on the board. So we ran around a lot of Illinois or county fairs when we were young. And so yeah, and I married Jared. And then since then got into the 2-wheel drive side. I actually started in my first time down the track was in a light super stock tractor.
Oh, really? I never knew
Wow,
that.
did not know that.
Yep.
Who's
So my cousin and uncle ran, they lived in Southern Illinois, our family farm, and they ran a little John Deere light super stock called Steel Dreams that ran on alcohol. Actually pulled at Louisville a couple times. So I didn't, but my cousin did.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How many?
So
how many
needless to
passes
say,
did
you met your husbands through tractor pulling. Is that correct? Without tractor pulling, there's not that you couldn't have met them at a truck stop or a bar somewhere, but
Damn, Chase, were you picking women up at truck stops?
Yeah.
No, not at a truck stop.
Yeah, we were not a lot
Chase,
lizard.
these-
No,
Chase, these ladies do not hang out at truck stops. Damn it! Come on now.
Yeah, these are
Hang on.
lot lizards.
I'm going to mute
Chase,
my
Jesus.
mic. I didn't even mean it the way it sounded. I'm going to mute my mic. You guys take the
Jesus Christ.
You
well,
guys
now we
don't-
know how Chase feels about us.
Well, no, what you know now is where Chase goes to pick up women is at truck stops.
Yeah.
All right. That's,
I really did not mean that the way it
No one.
sounded. I'm off to a bad start tonight.
Yes, you are.
I'm on mute.
But yes,
right,
we
we got-
both met our husbands through ITPA, through the Illinois pulling circuit. I met Jared at a county fair in Nashville, Illinois. Oh, Misty, what was the first time you saw Jeremy, or how'd you meet Jeremy?
Fairfield, Illinois. Dad and I were checking trucks before the pull at Fairfield.
Yep. So Illinois circuit.
Who
ITPA
ran?
is a great circuit. You guys have supported them for numerous years. I think it's one of the best ran state organizations. I know my brother-in-law and sister really enjoy pulling over there with you guys. So you guys are so in. I mean, you guys bring what 5, 6, 7 trucks as your Illinois mafia to every pull. Does it not ever get to you when one of, I mean, your family, but you guys ever get out like you want to be the top dog, right? So, who in the family can you stand beating you more than the other? I mean, like, who is it? I know you guys root for each other, but
Yeah, I probably shouldn't say my husband because we're going to Louisville next month and I want to have a good setup. So I'm not going to say my husband. So, but usually I want Misty to do well. So
Right.
we'll leave it there. Yeah.
no, I think
Well-
it was a stab probably for the husbands in your life. If you say, I want to beat my husband.
Well, yeah,
I mean-
but I usually don't do real well. So, if I'm used to getting beat,
I'd
there's
say
that. But yeah, I always
I'd
like
say
to
that
beat Jeremy,
being what they
but-
are, they set the vehicles up similar to what their setup basically comes to the driver, and I believe the women can be better drivers than the guys at times, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think sometimes Jared actually would agree with that because he says we don't have to think about a whole lot when we get up to the track. And he's not wrong. It's a lot of fun. We get to hop in the seat and we don't have to think setup. We're not worried about tire pressure or weight. We literally just to get in the truck and drive.
Yeah.
As Dad
So that-
used to say, I'm just the monkey in the seat.
So that was one of my questions. If you guys think like naturally women make better pulling drivers than men because you're not, overly thinking everything and like getting all hyper focused, like you're just more comfortable, you know what I mean? And you're probably a little more even keel and not quite as quickly angered and just a little bit more cool headed. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I would say, which I don't know if Jared will chime in at some point, but he will pound it in our head that he never goes out of bounds. And he will let us know that every time we go out of bounds that he does not go out of bounds. So
Misty, do you take that as a shot towards you because you went out of bounds at Hillsborough?
No, and that's not the only place I went out of bounds. I went out of bounds at Evansville as well.
But let's talk about Hillsborough. Do you think you went out of bounds?
I honestly don't know. And the TV camera, the view is hard to tell. And I think they kind of called it on the fire extinguisher being between the truck and the sled. And I think the buckboard got the mud flap got the fire extinguisher. I honestly don't know. I don't think so, but it's one of those, you're close enough, you let it go, and whatever happens, happens.
No, I wanted you to take a firm stance and say, no, I was not out of bounds. And this is the person, first and last name, who messed up the call, and I should have been called in bounds. Because you guys had such a limited schedule that kind of screwed over your points race for this year, did it not? Like,
I was kind of out of it anyways. So many going out of bounds at Evansville, and I didn't hook at Goshen because the motor was broke. Didn't find that till fire up. So Dad's truck was a struggle this year for us.
I suppose you'll have those seasons like that. All right. I was expecting
needless
more
to say,
agitation about going out of bounds at Hillsborough, but
you're over
it
now. Whenever Jared runs out of bounds, we need to have him as our next guest on the podcast 100%. Whenever that day comes. All right, noted. Back office producer.
Tyler, when you see Tanner, ask him if he's over it yet. He's not quite over that yet.
Does Tanner think you went out of bounds? Maybe we need to get his opinion on it.
No,
he doesn't think so. Okay.
Well,
I like that.
Unfortunately, I think it works both ways because a couple of years, you guys are probably there to see it. A couple of years ago, Wheatland, I think some people ran out of bounds and it didn't get called.
Mm-hmm.
We all remember that.
Adam loves talking about roles and tech officials on the show. Bethany, Misty, if you haven't noticed yet.
Adam, you can't reference that. Misty, what is he talking about? Do you know?
I do. Do we really
Bethany,
need to pick it up?
Do you know what he's talking about?
No,
I honestly
don't. I just wish somebody would say
the next question. I have a great question for both of you.
No, hang on. Bethany, tell him to quit beating around the bush.
Hey, and by the way,
Tanner just brought this. I don't know if you can see it.
That's
the chalk line at Hillsborough.
Jesus, that phone picture up immediately.
Yeah, we got the chalk live cam at Hillsborough.
Yeah, that was the chalk line. He took a picture of it.
Okay.
It looked
on to my next
pristine.
question. I don't want to get too heated yet, but just as being women and my wife being a new mom, and it's a little bit different in your guys' stand, but how do you manage being a mom at the pool, especially when your kids were younger? Being a mom and being a driver of a truck. I mean, obviously you got other things to take care of. The guys take care of the trucks and all that stuff. You got kids to take care of. How do you manage that?
Yeah, I'll hit on it first. So I actually drove Jared's Rockstar truck there a few times, but didn't actually get in my own ride till 2014, which I drove Terry Joe Stock's truck that year and won a points championship. So my kids were, at that point, they were 9 and 6 or something. So they were getting to the point where they were a little more self-sufficient, but still had to pretty well be mom duty. And honestly, it comes down to we have really good help. So during the day, I was a mom. Like I was doing food, I was doing snacks. We would pack bags up until the moment we headed to the track. And then when it was time to get in pool mode, it was usually Brenda or my mom that we had along with us. So pretty well thanking our grandparents that were along the way that kind of took care of him during the pool. So
awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Misty?
Yeah, it was mom. Early on, I was still flagging with Dad when I had Kayla, and Mom would take her for the whole pull because I'd be out on the track. And hi, Kayla. And then when I got pregnant with Tanner, I decided that it was too much to push both of them off on Mom. So that's when I quit flagging. But then I didn't start driving until 16. So both of my kids were pretty self-sufficient. And Mom just took care of them at the track.
And Tanner got adopted by the Sheltons, so you don't
Well, there
really
was
see
that.
much.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, everybody knows that if the Sheltons were at the track, Midnight Motorsports was nothing. He was over, polishing on them.
Right. That's awesome.
Well, we cover a lot in this show since it's began, and whole goal here is obviously to help grow a sport that all of us on here love, and the fans are watching. By the way, shout out to you fans. We're right at our record number. I think we've had almost 400 live viewers, and it's because people love the Nelson ladies. They're not here for us, but we haven't not probably done a good job talking enough. We like to have fun and cut up on this show, but talk enough about the family dynamic this sport brings and what makes it so cool and so special. I think it would be great for y'all to just kind of talk. I mean, you said it, and please forgive me on my reference there a minute ago, how you met your husband, but you met your husbands in pulling, you raised your families in pulling, and obviously Adam and myself and Tyler have kind of came up the same way. Like, what makes pulling such a family-oriented sport, and a sport that Adam's fathers used to say this, and I heard Ryan DeBro make this reference at the NTPA banquet or somewhere, like how you can't go wrong with raising your family and pulling. So kind of, Bethany, you can start touch on that part of this sport that people don't really know or see behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think same every time I give a speech about pulling, and I don't mind talking. And I've got to win a couple championships, but one of the first things I always hit on is the family oriented pulling, because, well, we always kind of say families that pull together stay together. So it was kind of, as we were bringing our kids up, your kids be running around on the weekend getting in trouble, or would you rather have them with you at a track running around with a bunch of other pulling kids? And in our mind, because we did it, I love my kids being raised around a bunch of other pulling kids. First of all, the families involved in pulling are class acts. You don't get not to be mean, but you don't get a lot of trash in pulling. So they're running around with good people. You can trust all the other families with your kids. And the camaraderie after pulls is what I see a lot different from some of these other motorsports that go to the drag races. You go to the circle track, and man, those people are out to get each other. And when we get to the pulling track, we want to win. I mean, I'm competitive. Our team is competitive. But once we leave that track, the first thing we want to do is go see who's out around the trailers, who are we going to go have a drink with. And our kids go ride bikes all night. And some of their best memories, I would say, are probably from pulling weekends.
That's amazing. The camaraderie part is kind of what this podcast is now, in case you didn't know. And also back to the trailer reference, I think there's a story too about some late night walk-ups in your all's trailers at one time that we want to get to later in the show for our older audience. But Misty, to echo what Bethany says, the family aspect and pulling about what, why this is all so much more in a sport to all of us.
I mean, just like Bethany said, I was raised in it. There are great people in pulling. Adam and I both know the support that the pulling family gives when you need it, when you're down and out, they're there and are supporting you 100%. So to raise your kids in it is amazing, because you don't have to worry about them. Yeah, they take off and they ride their bikes, but no matter where they go, everybody knows who they are and are watching out for them and making sure that they are not getting in trouble, or at least too much trouble. Maybe a little, not too much.
I was gonna say, you can definitely
I never got in trouble.
You can definitely go to pulls and get in trouble. I can personally speak to that. So
Been there.
You've maybe got a couple of years ahead of you before that kicks in, but we'll see.
Yeah, ours aren't quite to that age yet where we've had to deal with that. We've just got to deal with the fun so far. So
Yeah.
So let's talk about your kids for a little bit. I see you have some basketball players, Bethany. That she's girls are doing awesome. You talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we got a 14-year-old and 17-year-old. So two in high school now. They're a fun age. Some people say high school. Actually, my kids have just been fun all along. 2 girls, but they're not whiny, and they actually go along with the flow pretty good. Oh, sorry. Apparently, my daughter's actually 15 now. She must have had a
That's pretty
birthday.
sad.
Dang it.
All right. For those who don't know, Misty just corrected Bethany off
So
screen
my
in
kids
our
are now
private chat.
15 and 18. See, that's why I don't have 6 drinks before we get on here. That is why.
That's the family aspect of pulling it right in front of us.
Yeah. So anyway, so they are fully involved in sports, and then especially our senior in high school. She just got some God-given talent that using to the best of her ability. So she has been kind of rising to the top of the basketball world and committed to play.
We're going to start working some NIL deals here or something.
Well, I mean, every college has got people that work on it. I don't think Illinois State's going to get you anything like LSU or anything, but you never know. So
she keeps working on it. You never know what's possible.
Yeah, we'll take college tuition for 4 years.
She could be the next Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, that'd be great. She's a stud.
You could get free rods and pistons in exchange for your NIL. I think that's a good deal.
You think we could get like SRE to do an NIL deal or something? Molly? Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. We'll talk about that off air.
Yeah. So we're just got girls running around. Yep. So we just got our house is full of teenage boys and girls a lot, and we enjoy it right now.
Awesome.
How about you, Misty?
What about Misty?
Tanner's 15. Kayla's 19. Tanner's playing a little bit of freshman basketball right now. So staying busy with that. And Kayla's a freshman at Illinois Wesleyan. And she's running track up there and studying nursing. So she's going to keep us a little busy too.
Awesome.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. I've got a series of rapid fire questions. I don't know if you guys have listened to the podcast where we've done the rapid fire questions, but they're just quick, one-word answers. You don't need to elaborate. It doesn't need to be a right answer. It just needs to be a quick answer.
Best of luck on this, ladies.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So everybody knows, Tyler has these questions prepared. We don't even know what they are.
Yeah. Chase and Adam have no idea what these are, and they gave me way too much time.
I do know the rules of this, though. You cannot pass on any question, Bethany and Misty.
Oh.
Yeah.
There are questions.
You can pass on questions.
No, Adam can.
Adam
Adam has an Adam button. Button.
Oh.
You can't do that. The Adam button does not roll over to the rapid fire. So best of luck to you, ladies.
All
right. So as I read them, I've got 16 of them, which is kind of way too many. So who wants to answer first, just so we're not talking over each other?
I'll go. I love to be first when I pull, so I'll go.
Okay, so I'll ask the question. Bethany has to answer it, and then Misty. Would you rather be 15 or 50 for the rest of your life?
50.
50.
All right. 100%. Fastest speed you've ever driven in a car?
85, 90.
Oh, 100. Misty trounces her with 100. I like it. Would you rather be able to speak every language or be able to talk to animals?
Talk to animals.
Wise
choice.
Talk
to animals.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. What modified... rapid fire, Adam. Right. What modified puller could you easiest beat in a race swimming across an Olympic swimming pool?
All of them.
All of them. I love it. Misty, what do you got?
Bill Ashner.
Okay. Hearing your food at a restaurant, are you going to send it back or are you going to pick it out and eat around it?
Send it back.
Send it back.
Don't blame you. Climb Mount Everest or go skydiving?
Skydiving.
Skydiving.
Okay. You got to eat one food for a week straight. What are you going to go with?
Dr. Pepper.
That's a beverage, but okay.
Tacos.
Okay. What two-wheel drive puller would do the best one-on-one versus Bethany's daughter Grace in basketball?
Jared, because he has to do it a lot.
Okay. Misty, you can't repeat answers on these.
Chase.
Okay. I like it. If you had the opportunity...
I sold my truck.
What a loser. If you had the opportunity to go into outer space, would you take it or not?
No.
Mm-mm.
Don't
Is
blame you.
space real?
Melt one piston every time you pull, but you win every pull you pull at. Would it be worth it for a season?
Yes.
No.
Oh, come on, Misty.
You don't fix it.
Exactly, but I'd have to hear about it.
All expenses paid vacation to Disneyland for a week or a vacation on the beach. Which one are you going to pick?
Beach.
Disneyland.
What puller has a wife that has never made a pass down the track that you think that husband needs to put her in the seat? Come on, Bethany, rapid fire.
I know, man. I'm having a Adam
Come on.
Custer.
Oh,
Okay.
Misty, you can't repeat answers. Who you got?
Cole's eye check.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you had that
Little
one.
family jam.
Just so you
We'll
know,
get back to that
Jamie,
here
I
shortly.
don't, she gets
Hang
close
on,
to
we can't
getting
elaborate.
Oh, go ahead.
Adam, rapid fire. Rapid fire.
6 beer race. Misty versus Bethany. Who's winning?
Bethany.
Probably me.
Very well. What about Jared versus Jeremy with Twisted Teas?
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Larry Richwine versus Jack Kilmeyer playing a game of tetherball. Who do you got?
Jack Kilmeyer.
Rich wine.
Okay. John Mears versus Christie in a 100-yard dash. Who's winning?
Christy.
Christy.
I about
right.
broke John's hip.
That's the end of it.
Round of
You did
applause,
well.
Ollie.
Any of them
That was awesome.
specifically you'd care to elaborate on?
Well, if you want a funny story, I'll elaborate on the last
I want
one.
a
All
funny
right.
story.
No, we hate
every
funny.
time.
We hate funny stories in this
It
show.
was kind
Bethany,
of
that
funny
you're
afterwards. So last hook at Hillsboro, Wisconsin, this has probably been 4 or 5 years ago, literally dead last. Nobody's at the starting line. It's 2 a.m. and I'm the last truck to start up. And so I fire up and, my crew just takes off heading towards the sled and I put it in gear, give it a little throttle. And all of a sudden there goes John Mears sitting on my hood. Apparently he was right in front of my truck, right in front of the butterflies and blower. I could not see an inkling of him. And I ran into him, hit him.
Very nice.
And good thing my truck set the way it did, where it kind of hit him right where he could about sit on my hood. But it flustered me like it did. I almost shut my truck off, but he just kept on waving me on as he hobbled off to the side. So I made my run like normal, and it was a shit run. And I got to the end of the truck, and I think Misty was the first one. I'm like, I just hit Mears at the start of the track. I literally just ran into him. Yeah,
And
it
got
wasn't
away
good
with
at
it.
the time.
Her eyes are this big, and she's like, I didn't mean to hit him. It's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I hit Mears.
Literally ran, and he's always the one that preached us to pay attention in the hot pits. Yeah,
Oh, so you're calling him out right now for not paying attention.
he was
Is that right?
right in the middle of my truck.
Oh,
Are you responsible for
Wrong
his hip
place, wrong
replacement?
Maybe the second one.
Well, speaking
That's
of
funny.
funny stories, we may or may not have. And Adam, I didn't aim to cut you off on rapid fire,
You're
but
fine.
that's a rapid fire rule number 13.
Oh,
You
that's-
can't interrupt whenever doing that. Did you have something you want to add?
No, we're good. I liked a couple of the answers, so chiming in.
So we may or may not have done a little research into some questions, like we do all our guests, about past humorous pulling experiences. I won't say which one, but either two of you and whoever's guilty can answer was the one that had a brand new 2-wheel drive truck built and was having a problem with it running straight and was requesting a new chassis being built. And I'll let you all finish the rest of the story of what happened. Again, I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to throw anybody out there, but either one of you two, you want to take that?
It was not a brand new chassis.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We bought it
Sorry.
off of Long's.
I guess it was Misty.
It was well broken. And it was in Nashville, Illinois. And the damn thing wouldn't go straight. Well, as I retracked my steps and was discussing it with Jeremy afterwards, complaining that it wouldn't go straight, I realized I was on the wrong brake. But I
And it
admitted
took a
it. I
turn.
came clean. I was like, never mind. Driver error.
So pulling fans, if you don't know, a mini rod two-wheel drive, modified
Every pulling
tractors. I don't
vehicle.
know every pulling vehicle. You have a left brake, a right brake. Now some are positioned different places, but if the vehicle's going to the right from the driver's standpoint, you want it to go left, you hit the left brake. Vice versa, if it's going left and you want to go right, you hit it right. Is that how you do it, Adam? Is that right?
It's like a dune buggy.
Okay,
right?
I'm just making
You
sure.
get separate
So
brakes.
believe it or not, I've done this before myself. I won't get anybody that was a part of that story involved with it, but hitting wrong brakes is a real thing. So I just want to make sure that story from somebody, I won't reveal who was, had to ask you. Secondly, another question or another story. Again, either one of you can take this answer. Within the last 2 years, call it 2022 at Bowling Green, Ohio, there was a well-known top-of-the-line engine builder that told one of the drivers just to basically deck it or get after it off the line at Bowling Green, Ohio. And needless to say, it went about 100 foot and it was not very good. And then one of the drivers of the vehicle came to the end of the run. I don't know the exact chronological timeline, but basically said, well, that shit didn't work. Anybody want to take that one on?
Yeah, that was me.
And give our fans the story.
Yeah, we pulling on were we on the north track? The fun side? I can't remember. Anyways, our engine builder, which most people know who it is, so I'll throw him out there. John Card, we're sitting on the concrete wall and we're watching truck after truck run. And he said, I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to wait for it to hook. You're just going to have to get after it. Well, most of people have seen me drive plenty of times that you don't normally have to tell me to get after it. Every once in a while, I'll be a little behind, but if anything, I can normally be ahead of it. So you don't have to tell me twice to get after it. So, and I don't even know what happened. I mean, it actually felt like the hook was maybe in the wrong hitch, but it wasn't. But that's how bad it spun. And instead of doing the right thing and probably feathering it a little bit, I just stayed in it. And it spun and it spun and it spun. And then it put all the rods out of it at like 100 feet. I mean, like really early. It didn't even have a load on it. And it just put everything.
Which is unheard of. Yeah, which is unheard of.
It doesn't normally happen until you get a load on it. And it did it really early on. So I don't think there was a rev chip in that truck either. And I don't know what it turned, but it turned way too many.
Can you take us through the end of the track conversations when the engine builder you came across? Again, I'm not here to. He's one of the best in the industry. Can you take us through the back and forth? Did you give him a hug when you saw him?
No, yeah, I think I tried to blame it on him, and then I think the rest of my teammates, because if you're around our team very much, you'll realize real quick they kind of tell you how they see it. Like they don't baby us when it comes to our driving. We don't baby them, and obviously nobody's happy when you put rods out on the track. First of all, like we had just blown up a pretty nice motor, did a lot of blocking. I mean, it hurt it all. And so I don't honestly think a whole lot was said. I didn't say a whole lot to Jared, I know, but I do think I told John Card that he's the one that told me that I couldn't wait for it and I just had to go with it. And I think he kind of felt a little guilty. So yeah, it wasn't our best showing at Bowling Green, but it happens.
It sounds to me like you're kind of meant to drive what Santa dropped off this past season.
Santa, yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
So we're wanting to hit on the new purchase, huh?
Yeah. So you guys set the bar.
Thousands of fans.
You set the bar so high for young pullers across the country as far as what Santa can fit in his sleigh, didn't you?
I would say you're correct there. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did this all come about?
Well, my 15-year-old, I think, had a lot to do with it.
What did say that again, Misty?
I think Tanner had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, so I think the discussions with Matt Johnson, he bought our hauler 2 years ago. And so him and Jared kind of would chit chat back and forth. And for a little bit, he wanted to buy my 2-wheel drive truck. He liked the little old Chevy look, and I just really didn't want to give up my truck. I like it. It does well. And so he was actually getting a truck built by Bob Barbie, had a two-wheeler at Bob Barbie's getting built. And then, so he was going to kind of shift gears anyways. Out in Missouri, there's just not a ton of hooks for mini rods. And so he wanted a class that when he could sneak away from pulling that, maybe he could do a little more. Yeah, the rules are across the board a little more. But then I don't know what happened from there and how his deal with Leishner all came about. But then he ended up with the mini rod for sale. And my husband did not tell me that we had a mini rod until I'm pretty sure the purchase was complete. We'll just keep it at
Merry
that.
Christmas, Bethany.
I didn't know either. Tanner actually lied to me. Matt called Tanner, and Tanner went into Jeremy's office. We were out in the shop. And when he got off the phone, I was like, "Bud, who called you?" He goes, "Uncle Jared." Nah, it was Matt Johnson.
So it was kind of just a little bit of a joke at first that Tanner's going to be driving a year from now, and nothing against you, Tyler, but it's more of a smaller man's class, so they say. So we thought, well, that worked
Tanner's
out good.
not really a basketball center by any means. So
No. But I really do think our guys are pretty excited. They've only pulled two-wheel drive trucks. If you think back in the history of both of them, they've only pulled that class. And so
they're pretty damn good at it.
Jared's never drove a mini rod. So this summer, him and Jeremy are just going to take turns playing with it a little bit. So,
Jeremy will be back in a mini rod.
Yeah, Jeremy knows what he's doing because he's made how many passes in Terry Joe Stock's mini rod?
Several.
Yep. Did he ever have a bad ride in Joe Stock's mini? I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember. No.
I actually, I'm not gonna lie, in Goshen a few years ago when he was driving it, Tyler had a really bad ride, and
I've been known to do that.
Yeah, Grayson had a really bad ride. Pretty much everybody ahead of Jeremy had a bad ride, and I told him, I was like, let's just scratch it. You don't have to run this thing. We're not running for points. Let's just scratch it and go. He wouldn't do it. Lowered the hitch a little bit, went to the top side of the track where all the dry dirt was, and he made it down the track.
3000.
You couldn't see the tractor at the end of the run because all the dust was coming up over it, but he made a nice pass.
Now, you don't have to speak for him if you don't believe, but do you think he likes the mini rod ride more than the two-wheeler?
Possibly.
That's
so. Does that mean that either two of you are going to drive it?
I have no desire.
Really?
Yeah, I honestly don't either. I think this is kind of going to be their thing. Let them have fun with it. As long as they keep setting up my two-wheeler good.
Okay, so if Tanner gets to drive it in a few years, what about the girls? Will the girls ever get a trip in it?
Kayla's got no desire to drive anything.
Really?
Yeah, Grace actually drove Jared's truck last year a couple times. Yeah, made a couple runs in it, and she, to make a long story short, told us it was the most stressful thing that she had ever done. And she's been in a lot of stressful sports situations. Like she's ran track state, she's won track state, a lot of high-end basketball games. And she told us it was the most stressful thing she ever did. And she was just probably content with watching. So,
well, from my standpoint, and this, I don't know. I've only driven a two-wheel drive once, and I don't even really classify that as a good place to. It was Greenville. It was raining. It was not a good scenario. But a two-wheel drive, and you guys are synonymous for them. But the long zoomy headers that come out underneath are very, very loud inside the trucks. So I can see from her standpoint why it was so stressful, because I've been around the sport my entire life, but when I got in that two-wheeler, I could not believe how loud it was compared to, like, everyone's like, oh, mini rod, you're sitting so close. You don't hear it. But the two-wheel drive, I mean, it is, if you don't wear, it's loud with earplugs in. So
I actually don't even wear earplugs with my helmet. I guess my helmet, it's that tight. I know, it's kind of odd.
Yeah,
I do wear earplugs, and I've forgotten them before, and that was a big mistake because then the motor does sound like it's screaming.
Yeah, I don't wear earplugs in the mini rod. Maybe inside I do because I think it changes the tune of the engine a little bit, whether you're inside or outside. But
Yeah.
normally outside I don't wear them. But man, that two-wheeler, I didn't wear them. Nobody told me. And I was like, holy shit. I couldn't hear it just had ringing in my ears for a couple days.
Yeah, for new drivers, a lot of it is, which I think a lot of us can vouch for, the getting out on the track, backing up, getting it in gear, all that can almost be as stressful as when you then relax and make your run down the track. So yeah,
what
for her,
has
I
more
think that was.
What has more visibility, the new truck that you have, or like that Ford body? Like my sister always complained that she couldn't see shit out of that Ranger body. Like it just was terrible. I mean, is the visibility out of the trucks that bad?
Especially now with these setback blowers right in your face and the injectors. Yeah, I mean, you're looking around them both ways. You can't see straight in front of you. So, yeah.
Well, that's why John Mears got ran over.
Exactly.
Yep.
So Misty
we're always here. Go ahead, Tyler.
Misty said that she had no desire. Bethany said that she was content in her two-wheeler. So it sounds like Bethany probably would if given the opportunity to clarify.
Oh, I don't know.
That's not a no.
It's one of those, if I could be like pegged a 340-foot straight pass, heck yeah, let's go. But I've seen you all get one stab of the brake. I'm afraid I'd be a brake stabber. That's pretty well where we're at. I would.
Well, you'd only be a brake stabber one time.
Well, yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, so in a two-wheel drive, when you hit the brakes, do you have to like really hammer the brake to get it to turn?
No, I have the really, really touchy brakes. If I hit a brake in my truck, because I can try feathering it and it drops the front end every time. So no. Yep.
Mine is well, then you'd be fine in a mini rod because I use it as a pressure. Like I always try to straighten the tractor out early in the pass, right? When you take off, you kind of got a place in your mind where you want to go, and you try to straighten it up. Then yes, you may lose a little bit of momentum, but at least you're pointed where you want. Maybe the further you get down the track, and like my dad would always let it drift, and then you'd hit it at the end of the pass, and it would be harder to turn, and you'd have to hit the brakes harder and whatnot. A mini rod, I always do like a pressure, like I'll start hitting it, and if it don't turn, I'll hit a little bit harder and a little bit harder, but really quick hits, not just laying on the brake, trying to get it to turn, because I don't think that works. You're more shocking the system, right? You're just giving a little bump, and you can kind of see it at times. But I think you'd
Bethany,
be fine.
You're ready now.
Yeah,
I'm just
ready. Gonna get me a song in my head and just kind of bump it to the tune of the song.
Yeah, just a little bit more pressure. If it's not moving, you just hit a little bit harder.
Well, at Bowling
but they have
Green,
to be fast.
Bowling Green 5 or 6 years ago, I was one of the lucky ones that got in the top 3 because they brought the top 3 back then. So I got in the pull off there, and I started on the right hand side of the track, and it's pretty wide at Bowling Green, and I won the pull and I drove out of bounds at the same time. And so I was pounding on the brake, but then I got told that I needed to let up to give it pressure and then hit it again. And I just kept on laying on it. It did not work. And then the story goes, the Boyds always laugh because then apparently Jared punched the concrete wall on the side whenever I went out of bounds. So good times.
It's good. I'm sure y'all heard the earlier part of the show. Do y'all prefer pull-offs or floating finish from a competitive standpoint, and then from an entertainment standpoint? If you're going to pull and you're watching, which do you prefer to see? This is our early segment on our show. Misty, you can start.
I think I prefer floating finish. I mean, it's just fun to watch, everybody go out there and just go as far as they can in a fast pass, and it's just fun.
What about entertainment-wise? What if you're someone that doesn't know pulling, or like you bring somebody in there, you still say floating finish?
I do. I mean, I think the fans enjoy the fast passes and watching guys go out there and maybe fly past somebody else and
as long
know
as
that they've won
like,
the pull, and
they have something visually like a good leader marker to know where you're going past.
Yes.
Like,
which PPO
fun.
always does. PPO always does.
Right.
PPS is okay. I mean, if depending on who sets it. It doesn't always get set right.
Go a little deeper here. Go a little deeper, Misty. What do you mean by that?
Well, I feel like sometimes it's like they don't set it by the front of the sled. They set it like by the back of the truck, or even further back sometimes.
Which for fans that don't know, Misty, explain that. Which is accurate? Where's the distance get measured? That's probably a valid question. Front of the sled.
The front of the sled. You want that track marker the closest to the front of the sled to mark your leader.
So that's where the leader cone needs to be, front of the sled, because that's what gets measured.
Yep.
That's why this is a great podcast of pulling. Thank you for that, Misty. Bethany, your take on pull off versus floating finish. Besides running out of bounds and pull off, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Yeah,
running out of bounds and a pull off.
Being a little picky here. 2-day events, pull off on the second day would be great for the adrenaline and the competition, like the competitor in me. Some of my funnest passes and excitement have came when you came back for a pull off. Like you're like, yes, this is getting ready to be game on. It's fun, but I don't always have to work on the motors, and from a longevity early in the season. And if you have pull offs every night, it can be a little tricky. So
now, how would that work if there's maybe a little bit more compensation for making a second pass? Like,
yeah, I would say compensation is good. And PPL actually, at one point in time in their Champions Club, did compensate you for if you had to come back for. I actually think they still do. We just never have pull-offs. Yeah.
That is correct. They still do.
Okay. Yeah. So
right.
you do.
Have you ever been on the end of being early in the class and you go 328 feet and the pull-off is set at 330 and like somebody gets past you and they have the pull-off and you just, I mean, that's the only downfall that I see in the way PPL judges their thing. Like you're setting the standard early in the class. You go out there and make a really good pass at 328. They're okay. Pull off set at 330. Track gets better. 4 people go by it. You know, it's like that's where I see a slight maybe frustration in the pulling world. But
right. But when they set it early in the class, which they have to, they're probably looking like, well, we don't want 10 of these things out. So we know one's already there. You tend to see them do that. They put like 5 feet in front of the farthest truck wherever they're at. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So set the marker at the right spot would be a start.
Well, I mean, that helps. That way you know that you've taken the lead and you don't look like an idiot thinking you took the lead. That way you do the fist bump, right? You're doing this, and then they're like, you're 2 foot short,
Hey, one time I did a fist bump and I pulled it in the 4th. I thought they had the cone in the wrong spot.
I thought I had won at, was it Farley, Iowa a couple of years ago. Flag was definitely not quite on because I did not win either. So, yeah.
Yeah. So fans, ton of viewers, Bethany and Misty have been awesome. Our best show yet is what I'm being told in the backstage here. We're going to hit them with some of your questions. Fire them away. We'll have a segment at the end of the show. But I think, Tyler, it's back to you. Tyler's always the highlight of the show, if you girls didn't know.
Oh, I don't know about that. Misty, I once, against your will, bought your daughter a pet rat for her birthday. How long did the rat last, and do you miss it sometimes?
Well, honestly, Tyler, we have 2 more now.
Do you really?
Yeah. So Kenny lasted probably a year and a half.
Not bad. Not bad.
And then, maybe a year or so ago, Kayla's like, Mom, I think I want rats. And the Humane Society's got baby rats. I'm like, okay. So we go up. I mean, those things were about this long when we got them. And now they're full grown, but we have 2 of them.
How does the Humane Society get rats? Somebody's just dropping off rats?
No, they're making money off of whatever is walking through there.
Apparently somebody had a couple rats and they had a surprise litter of babies, and so they turned them over to the Humane Society.
Okay. Was the rat that I got for your family the first one of your household?
Yes.
So we really started something there, huh?
You did.
These
But she wanted one. I'm pretty sure she begged you for one.
She did, and Misty was very clear and adamant to say, under no circumstance should you show up with a rat. And I did, and you let her keep it, so I give you credit for that.
But he showed up with the rat, the cage, and food. I mean, he showed up with the whole set. So
yeah, I was going to make sure you were forced to keep it for at least a week before getting rid of it.
yeah, no, we kept him.
That makes me happy to hear that you now have 2 more.
Yes.
Bethany, do you guys got any rats in your house that you know of?
Unless they're in the walls, no. I hope not.
No.
We have one dog. He's not the smartest, so yeah.
Deathly afraid of mice or no?
I'm not necessarily afraid of them, but I don't want them in my house.
Surprising, right?
Yeah. I guess kind of like most everybody else.
Yeah, that's
She doesn't
fair.
live in southern Indiana. She doesn't live in southern Indiana, Adam.
The rats down here.
So
they come from the river.
again, we're all about this show, asking tough questions, having a good time. Feel free to hit the Adam button at any moment, but we're gonna put you guys kind of on the hot seat here.
We're gonna move it to the next question that we ask everybody that comes on this podcast. Each of you can answer your own fashion. Best Bowling Green story.
You going first or me?
Oddest thing you've ever seen. Craziest.
You can go ahead, Bethany.
Well, yeah. So my stories are about us, so it's not like they're crazy because we're not that crazy. But I do remember one back in the day. Gosh, I mean, this is way back when Jeremy and Misty had a tracker, old tracker they used to pull the van around with. So Jared and I might have been married, but not for very long. We took the tracker into the campgrounds, and the horn on the tracker hadn't worked in years. Jeremy and Misty went to bed. They were being party poopers that night. They went to bed. So Jared and I, and man, if I remember, I think we had like J.R. Quant with us. There were some Altamont people with us. And we went out into the campground, and I fell off the roof of the tracker, first of all, onto the gear shifter, and I bent the gear shifter. So I had to show Jeremy that the next morning. But then the cool thing was, somehow trying to honk the horn in the campground, the horn magically started working. So we bent the shifter, but we got his horn to work. So yeah, it wasn't bad.
This is way back before you were mothers and driving pulling truck.
Yeah, that was before I was a mom. Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say,
just so the fans know.
Was
Yeah.
it Jamie Austin? Jamie Austin wasn't with you guys or anything?
He might have been passed out already. No, I don't remember if Jamie was along. Jamie was there. I can guarantee you Jamie was there. But
So
yeah.
when you say fell off the roof of the tracker, why were you on the roof of the tracker?
Well, you just ride on the roof to see what all's going on in the campgrounds.
Okay, fair enough. What
was
was
like
the?
sunroof. It was a sunroof.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like just sitting on the sunroof.
The soft top was off.
Yeah, there you go.
I was imagining you standing on the roof of a Geo tractor driving through.
Not
the
quite that extent.
Was Billy Beers somewhere around? For all you No Practice podcast fans, someone tuning this time may not know, but go back and watch episode 6. You understand why we asked.
Yeah.
that.
Did you guys run over any porta-johns ever or no? Every puller has.
Is that what Billy Beers did?
Yeah, every puller
Go
has
back.
a good
Yeah, go back
porta-john
and watch
story.
episode 6, Bethany. Come on, I thought you were a
All right.
fan.
Will do.
The crazy thing is we heard them coming back, but it's like, oh, that can't be them. They're honking a horn, and then we felt them pull up into like the trailer, and it's like, oh wait, that was them.
Got the horn to work. What's your story, Misty?
Before they were mothers and drivers.
Oh, Jamie's watching.
Jamie says thanks.
I didn't know we had Facebook.
Be careful what you wish for. Pops up.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna tell a story on one of our help. We had a younger
Fair
kid.
game. It's fair game.
Yeah. We had a younger kid that went with us one year, and he was getting ready to go off to the military, and he had a little too much fun. I don't know if you guys ever saw the pictures of the guy that was passed out in the middle of the road in front of the 4-H milkshake building.
Yeah,
Was it Billy Beers?
No.
Oh.
That was our help. He was passed out there. I don't think he slept in a bed the whole weekend. He slept in a chair one night. He slept in our tow vehicle one night.
That wasn't the same night. Now, refresh my memory here, but I came to our trailer one night, and there's a bunch of people down where we park at Bowling Green, which is right by the gate, and there's a huge crowd down there. All this hooping and hollering's going on, and I think there's a turnstile down there that people use to leave the premises, and I think somebody slipped a pipe or something over that bottom of the turnstile, and people couldn't get out. We were having a pretty good. That wasn't that night, was it?
It might have been. I don't remember.
I think
remember that night.
Yeah, I think there was a guy passed out in the road.
That might have been
by
later
the
that night.
milkshake shack.
Yeah, that was a good time to paint that picture accurately. There is like a, how do you call it, a prison style turnstile almost to leave the Bowling Green grounds, because it is chain link and barbed wire. And so you have, a sort of horizontal bar style that intersects some other bars where you can only leave. So it only turns to go out and you can't come in. And we had slipped a miter cut stack, I believe we called it, or a piece of pipe over the bottom one. So it was pushing against the fence post. And basically what we did is we trapped some poor drunk people that were trying to leave the grounds, and they would walk up to that thing and they would push on it, and they would kind of stop and turn and look around and kind of pull on it and push on it some more. And some people unfortunately just couldn't figure it out, and Misty didn't even help them escape. So they were basically just trapped in the grounds, forced to find another exit. Isn't that right, Misty?
Except the problem with that is there's not another exit. Like, everything was gated shut. It's literally the only fucking gate going out to the parking lot. They're wiggling the thing like, oh, go down to that gate. And they'd take off walking, and in like 45 minutes, you'd see them walking back. You'd get people that would like, I saw a guy, they ain't no shit. So they have some benches out there in a trash can, and he's got him and his buddy, they're drunk as hell. They get this cooler, and they're trying to get it over. Well, the guy, this is maybe even before the turnstile, but he like shoves the trash can over by the fence, and he climbs up on the bench, gets on the trash can, and he steps on this chain that's holding the two gates together. And when you step on that chain, it brings the fence as tight as it's going to be. Like, not very good physics here with the boy, but his buddy is handing him a cooler over, and this dude goes to get out, and like when he goes to get out of in between the gate, he falls and face plants face first into the asphalt. I thought the guy was fucking dead. Like, it was only like 3 people out there, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's dead. And eventually he starts moving.
Then you gave him CPR. Then you gave him CPR.
No, this was even before there was a turnstile, actually. But
okay.
Like,
you'll have that at those bigger
He rolled around for a minute. He got up and walked off. But like,
hey, if you're this guy, Adam, subscribing, listen to this show. If you're this guy, listen to this show. Please,
I'm
please
sorry.
Message us. We'll give you a free T-shirt. And,
after that, actually, after that, they actually gave gave Toby a key to open that gate.
Don't tell people that.
Out. But boy, it was bad that one year. Boy. I mean, I guarantee there was 50 people that tried to go through that gate, and we kept pointing them around to other places.
The look on their faces when they couldn't get out, they were like, what are we going to do?
Yeah, it was terrible.
That's how you know that place is wild. They're literally locking people into that environment.
There was guys walking around like 45 minutes. How the fuck do we get out of here? Like, I don't know, man. It's locked.
Go to the slaw trailer.
Yeah.
Back to some of the hot burning questions here. So we'll start with you, Misty. And this is all about fictional worlds and hypotheticals. I mean, these could happen, but we all always have to be prepared for what could happen. So you're in a pull off with one other vehicle. Let's call it. Who's the reigning farm show champion last year? Russ Nichols. You're in a pull off of Russ Nichols. Your vehicle, Russ Nichols. The tech official comes over. Let's say you did what Bethany did. You were on the top of the tracker. You fell through it. Something happened that they didn't like. And they said, you cannot drive this vehicle in the pull off, nor can anyone from T. Nelson Motorsports or Midnight Motorsports drive this vehicle in the pull off. And you can't have anybody in the two-wheel drive this truck. But if you're going to beat Russ Nichols, you got to have another female from another class drive your vehicle. So in that scenario, it's the biggest pull in the world. who are you picking female wise to drive your truck in a pull off to win the biggest pull in the world? That's not a 2-wheel drive puller.
Ooh.
And then Bethany, the question's passed off to you. Then I got one more after that.
Can't be the same answer.
Can't be the same.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, we'll see.
Uh,
You'll get to your 2-wheel drive girls here in a minute, but let's just keep it non-2-wheel drive female girls to win the pull off versus Russ Nichols.
There's not a lot of them.
No,
we'll
I know
Julia
that.
Ray. Julia Ray.
There are plenty though. Julia Ray, good answer.
Good
Bethany,
Oh.
Russ Nichols is circling around your truck right now, wanting to know who you're going to have out there.
So
to
I'm probably
throw in the
going to throw
driver's
a
seat.
4-wheel drive puller in just because they've got a little throttle control. Let's go with Lisa Peterson.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Lisa Peterson. What if they make her do a breathalyzer?
Game on.
That's
That
never.
was one
That
part of
made
the question.
Chase,
That
what are
was
you
one
doing? You
part of the
sit-
I'm sorry. I can't add those rolls. Okay, Bethany, it starts with you now. Your new mini rod is in a pull off with me, Tyler, and Adam at Bowling Green, Ohio. Same scenario comes up. Somebody finds something illegal about the tractor, said none of you Nelsons can drive this vehicle. Only you can have a female 2-wheel drive puller drive this mini rod in this pull off against these 3 guys. Who are you going to stick in the seat?
And it can't be a Nelson driver?
No, because you already got
Oh.
caught doing something illegal.
Yeah, let's throw in who's been competitive? Abby Leichner. She's done well with the Bobcat.
No. I may not say it right. A 2-wheel drive competitor in the mini rod.
Oh, I got to put a 2-wheel
I'm sorry.
drive in the mini rod.
I got
And
so
it has
excited
to be
about the
a
story, I
female.
probably didn't explain it well.
And it has to be a female. All right. Well, we're
Yeah.
throwing Ashley in it. We're putting Illinois Mafia in it. Ashley.
That's
Jonathan
what I
Mears
was gonna
comes
say.
over. Jonathan Mears comes over, shows you some rule in the rule book that he just said that it has to be a 2-wheel drive female puller, and you're throwing Ashley Corzine in it.
Yep.
Dude,
What
I'm
about
trying
you,
to do
Misty?
that. Like last year, we got to Wassy on really late, and Craig. Wait, I think Misty, you guys were there, right? Before you
Jeremy
went
was.
to. Oh, Jeremy was, but we got up and it was just me and my buddy Rick, and I said something to her. I was like, I should just let you drive one of these damn things. So at some point in the time this year, probably I'd like to get Ashley in the seat of one of them, maybe this new one. So I'd love
She'll
for her
probably
to
beat your
drive
ass.
it. I don't
She'll probably beat your
know
ass,
that
though.
she. What? I have no problem with that, dude. Like I've done a lot I've done a lot in this class. So you have up years, you have down years. I'm obviously
sorry.
I'm
I'll be
the engine guy now, but I would love to see Ashley drive one of these mini rods, mostly because she's fit.
You gonna let Craig
man.
tune it?
She's ready to, huh?
You gonna let Craig turn the mag?
Craig's driven the mini rod before. We didn't have a single weight on it, and he burned it in. He burned it in at the end of the track, dead dragging old Bob Kearns have transfer will travel sled. He was burning it in somewhere and detonated it and caught on fire. So, but no, she drove a mini rod before. She actually got the first win in the mini rod besides me. So she just didn't like working on the shit. So she chose other things. And
So
now
when
she's
Craig
driving
gets
again,
Craig
and
and
she's a
Ashley,
damn good
Craig
driver.
and Ashley's gonna get a mini rod. Craig and Ashley's getting a mini rod's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, they probably should take one of these from me, dude. Like I need probably
Love
less
it.
shit than what I have.
Misty,
right now, so.
back to the questions. You can't say Ashley who you got. 2-wheel drive. Jonathan Mears, you're at Nashville, Illinois, and they come up with this rule that nobody knew existed. 2-wheel drive puller, but it can't be Ashley Corzine, who's driving the new mini rod in the pull off with me, Tyler, and Adam.
Lisa.
Oh, that could be fun.
Lisa who?
Lisa Tatum.
Okay. I like it. Shout out to all female pullers out there. Bethany, 2023 champion, but you all are the best, regardless of what us 3 idiots say on this show. So special shout to those that don't know female pullers, look them up. They are special. They are a big part of the sport. Tyler, I think it's back to you to make this show flow a little better.
Yeah. So Chase mentions Russ Nichols, and we all know the elephant in the room with his tires. Love him or hate him.
These are the first 2-wheel drive guests we've ever had on. I forgot about that.
Misty, love him or hate him.
Sorry, I was laughing at Tanner's comment. What did you say?
Oh, I didn't see one here. Chase, anybody could beat you. That's what Tanner says.
I'm not debating that. He knows.
All right.
What was the question? Sorry.
The new two-wheel drive tires. I mean, they're not new anymore. About a year ago, they were new. They're not so new now. But you saw what they did. A lot of people say they were better. Some people prove that they were better. Some people disagree. The whole aspect, whether Russ Nichols himself came out with them, let's just say person X came out with them. Do you like what they did or not like what they did?
I love my new Mayhills.
Yeah. Are you going to end it at that?
I didn't run the other ones. They wouldn't fit under Dad's body.
Okay.
Same.
You like wider tires?
No, on Jeremy's truck, they didn't work on Jeremy's truck.
Okay, so you did try them on that
wider
one.
tires. You prefer the more narrow tires on Jeremy's truck?
The new Mayhills worked good on Jeremy's truck. The Nichols tires did not like Jeremy's truck at all.
Okay.
But Cole's running them now, and they do great on his truck. So,
Bethany,
just like
how about
engines,
you?
everything's a combination.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, capiche. You work with what you have, and normally you can have some success with it. We're a Mayhill team. I'm not really a ship jumper. Try not to be. I don't just go after the next fad, or I feel like us in general try not to do that. So what we have works. Obviously, we've had some success, so I don't see a whole lot of reason to change.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
And sorry
Fair
for
enough.
putting you on the hot seat, but y'all are the first two-wheel drive pullers ever on this show. So
No.
kudos to you.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about tires and two-wheel drive, so I had to go there.
Yeah.
All right. If it's Saturday night at Bowling Green, you are last hook in the class, somebody's leading the pull, and you're about to run. If you're going to run and take the win from somebody, who is it going to mean the most for you to take it from?
So when we come to NTPA pools, and this might be, but for us, the team to beat a lot of time is a Petro. So if the Petro's out front and we beat a Petro, you've done something, and that's respect for them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
Okay.
But you,
very
Misty,
talented.
I would agree.
Same.
I mean,
the standard. It's just the standard they've set with all their success there for a lot of years. So
Yeah.
Which one of the Petro team do you want to beat the most, though?
Like Jesse or Joey, or what truck?
Yeah.
Name a
Jesse,
vehicle.
Joey, or even
Name a
Chad.
vehicle.
Yeah, name a
Run and
vehicle.
block.
Okay.
No, I don't. I'm guessing one of Jesse's is going to be out there. The Buckeye Holler does pretty well, so probably Jesse sitting out front with Buckeye Holler.
That's fair.
Yep.
What about the limited schedule that PPL had to offer for the two-wheel drive class? Love it or hate it?
Love it.
Love it. Misty?
Well,
she's thinking about that.
I mean, it was good. We had somewhere to pull. I mean, they busted their butts to put a schedule together and give us places to run.
But that's a semi-loaded question, Tyler. Just for the simple fact is ITPA puts on a lot of pulls in their state, and they're easy to go to. So when you limit a PPL schedule, it probably makes your guys' life a bit easier, just because you guys do attend a bunch of pulls.
Yeah,
well,
but
for us, it kind of comes down to Misty's kind of the same. I mean, we have kids doing spring sports up until end of May. Our trucking season is super busy through early June. So for us, like a June, July, August schedule is perfect. Our kids go back to school in September. We're back getting busy. When we're pulling too early or too late, that is when things get hard and we're having to split up and everybody can't do it. Yeah.
And it really doesn't work with the farm. I mean, if we're, planting in April and May, it's not good we can't park the tractors and take off and go pulling, and same thing with harvest. I mean, so a condensed, end of June, middle of June to first part of August is about perfect. Middle of August.
Well, and you guys got
would
Tanner
say 2
running the
days
planter
instead.
now at 15, right?
What's that?
You guys got Tanner running the tractor and the planter at age 15 now, right? How many acres do you think he's planted at age 15?
I think he. Yeah.
Lots of math there.
Well, I'm trying to think of. I know he planted at least 40, 80, maybe 100, 160, maybe.
That's impressive. That's right up there
For
with
you
Bruce's
fans-
lifetime total.
For you fans that don't know, we keep mentioning the name Tanner. Tanner is Misty and Jeremy's son, 15-year-old son now, that is going to be a star in this sport here in the next few years. He's if you don't know him yet, you'll know him soon. We won't tell him that to his face, but I'm sure he's watching. Oh yeah, he is watching. He made some comments. But the best thing he could do is jump in the mini rod class, and then he'll want to go two-wheel drive pulling. So Tanner, can't wait to see you in a year or so, buddy. Hey, so the next
he
thing,
is our biggest critic.
yeah,
he will tell you what
and
you've done
biggest
wrong.
fan. And
that,
biggest fan.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean it when I say it. He'll be a star in the sport. So remember the name Tanner Nelson.
Yep.
We always ask all of our guests, and you've touched on a little bit. If there was one thing, and Misty, you can start it. You could change about the sport of pulling. What would it be for the betterment? It can be anything. It could be anything to help it grow, not get back in time to farm. It's to help grow the sport.
It's with whatever it's scheduling, whatever you could possibly think. If you were in charge, and the first thing you wanted to take care of, or you thought would benefit,
would help grow the sport.
Yeah, grow the sport.
I mean, Bethany touched on it just a little bit ago. A few more 2-day hooks, just to be there for a couple days and get the fans into it a little bit more and have more time to come out and check things out and be around.
Making it a weekend gathering. I think we've talked about this show where it's not just pop in one day, but just make a weekend of it. Bowling Green, Ohio is
like a camping. It's like a camping trip.
Correct.
It's like a camping trip. You spend a couple of days with your family outside of your family, and for maybe you guys. For me, it's a lot, but when you have a lot of stuff to load and unload, you like to kind of set your roots for a couple of days, running in and out. I mean, I think it's a little bit more difficult. That doesn't necessarily mean that we want 2-day hooks every weekend, though. So
right.
You got to have. I think having your holidays off is probably a big benefit.
Yeah.
So you get to go to the lake, because you guys go to the lake often. I know you guys go to pontoon now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We enjoy going to the lake on our free weekends now.
Yeah,
the mini rod might just take up a few of those free
I was
weekends.
gonna say,
dang it.
that mini rod ruined that. That mini rod ruined that for that expedition.
Bethany and I and Ashley are going to go take the pontoon to the lake, and the boys can go pulling.
Cheers.
Yeah. So do you guys know that you are now going to be pulling a mini rod in my hometown this year? I know this might be breaking news.
I did hear that.
Oh, really?
Evansville.
Common people like some of my buddies here at the fair. They voted mini rods in at Evansville this year.
Awesome.
So that's huge. This pool has been in my back 9 miles from my house my entire life, and I've never pulled there once. My dad, the last time he ran there was in 2001.
Oh wow.
So it's dirt's changed. A lot of things have changed, but as far as the pool standpoint, you guys like Evansville, right? I mean, there's a lot of the crowd's awesome.
It's really good.
Track maybe not as good as
this
past year was a lot better.
This year was probably one of the best tracks we had been on. So
at
least they're working on it.
They moved all the dirt in.
Yep,
they're really trying hard. They're trying really hard.
Bethany, you said rumor has it. What were you going to say?
Rumor has it that mini rods are going to be at Altamont also.
Really? So make a whole Goshen,
a
Evansville,
little bit of a
Altamont swing.
So yeah.
So what do you guys think about that whole week? I mean, if everything's going smooth, it's not that bad, right? But if you guys, Bethany, did one year you guys went from Goshen to Evansville to open up the trailer and see that the lift had fell down on the truck or something? Busted some shit up?
Ooh, tell us that travel story.
Yeah, I was going to say pulling can be a lot of fun, but every team will vouch that loading and unloading can be some of the knockdown, drag out, shittiest times. Like they
It'll put a heck of a test on a marriage.
Oh man, it's like backing a boat in. It's like
family sport.
Yeah.
Right.
So we load up at Goshen, and you're always in a hurry at Goshen to run out of there and get down to Evansville. or two-wheelers tend to be, because we pulled in the afternoon and we try to make it down to Evansville by midnight. Who can get loaded the fastest and get out of there? And
get there before the rain beats them there. Right?
Yep. So I not sure what, when, or how went on, but we get down to Evansville and everybody's grabbing a drink, open up the trailer door, and Jared's truck sitting this way on the lift, and it had fell down. It was into the side of the wall of the trailer. It was sitting on my injector.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's probably still a dent in the back of the black trailer that Matt Johnson's using from Jared.
Don't tell him that.
Did you tell him that when he bought it?
Yeah. So from what it looked like when we opened the door to what ended up being wrong, actually, we were pretty lucky. They were able to get the lift back level. It did tear up my injector, did a little body damage on my truck, but we have some good teammates that, well, Jared and Beeve ran back to Altamont that night and got an injector and rolled back in about 7 that morning, and Jeremy did a little body work and we pulled that night. So yeah.
Oh, you didn't get rained out? Because usually I think like even in Evansville there's been like 3 foot of water standing there.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Yep. So yeah, there's always stories of unloading, loading, and up and down the road.
Is that your worst story of travel / loading, unloading?
We normally ask everyone. We haven't had you on with that yet.
Yeah, that's definitely our worst one as far as damage done.
Mm-hmm.
I dread any pull where we're pulling pretty late and there's a dew on the ground and the ramps get slick, because you can guarantee that shit ain't gonna go good.
Oh yeah,
right.
We've all lost
cuss
beer.
word nice. Can we get a ding ding? We're putting almost an hour into it, and we finally got a cuss word.
Yeah.
We've all lost a beer to walking up a trailer ramp, and you fall and just shove that poor thing off into the distance.
Yeah.
The Ranger gets cockeyed. The tow bars get all out of shape. That part of pulling.
Some weight boxes get bent up.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, again, shout out to our podcast downloads. I think we elapsed 10,000 last weekend, or like 9,000, 9,800. These vehicles, these trucks go into trailers, and they stack them in there using a hydraulic lift most of the time. And when that vehicle or that truck is on a lift, there's a strapping process that goes into that, and then sometimes things don't go as planned, as referenced in this past story. But for anyone to understand how a lift and how some of this stuff gets loaded, we're always here to try to explain that to everyone.
Well, it's like a puzzle piece, like literally, like even your guys' trailer, like all you guys' stuff there for a long time. The amount of shit you pile in a trailer is kind of amazing, really.
Well, and the problem is you're always like, hey, you want to take a break, get 12 to 15 beers deep, and put together a $500,000 4-piece jigsaw puzzle.
Right.
Tyler, not everybody does it like me and you.
I try
your
not
trailers, your trailers as dangerous as anybody, because the front lifts, they only go 6 feet off the ground in the trailer, so you have to go up 2 sets of ramps that the front tires barely. I mean, I don't know how y'all do it.
My sister's our insurance agent, but my sister's our insurance agent, but we don't invite her pulling.
That's a good call.
That is a good
call. All right.
Yeah.
We're getting close to 2 hours. I believe, ladies, Chase gave you guys a heads up about the old 2 truths and 1 lie. Is that correct?
Well,
I've changed
Actually,
from
no,
the past podcast.
I forgot again.
But Misty did. Yeah.
Chase did not give you guys a heads up. That just really speaks to his level of.
I'm sure they're
organized,
really
unorganized guy on the team.
Yeah,
it's okay. I was prepared. And
very well done. All right,
I knew we didn't have Billy Beers or Jeff Hurd on here, and they have it under control.
So for our listeners that if this is their first show, which I'm sure there is some, the 2 truths and 1 lie is you're going to make 3 statements, 2 of them being truths, 1 of them being a lie, and it is up to us 3 to decipher which one is the lie, assuming that Bethany would know Misty's and Misty would know Bethany's, so we're not going to let them participate with one another, correct?
Correct.
Unless you guys think that you've got each other stumped, but we'll let you make that call.
I know she's got mine figured out.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't care who goes first. Take it away.
I'll go.
All right, I'll go.
Oh, no, they weren't prepared though. They're fine.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
All right. So I read the newspaper every day. I have my CDL and help drive to pulls. I have a passion for sports and was an AD for 6 years.
Ooh, that is tough. I'm going to say the newspaper one is a lie.
I'm going to say the CDL's a lie. I've never seen you drive to a pull. That's the reason. I mean, not that you may drive illegally, but if I had a CDL, I'll be showing it off like, hey, girls, I got a CDL. Look at me pulling here. So,
Adam, make a guess.
You know what? I'll go with the newspaper.
All right.
So the lie was I have my CDL and help drive to pulls. Chase got it.
Or else
we would see
you pulling in there, tooting your horn.
Billy Big Rig. I've been in the seat like a couple times, like on the old slide over in 4 lanes of traffic at 3 a.m. for Jared to go to the bathroom, and that is it.
Jared, I gotta take a piss. Take over this for a second.
Yeah, but I don't have no comfort in that, especially what they are now, how long those are.
Automatic? Was it automatic or stick shift?
No. Yeah, I'd get stalled out on the interstate probably because it is manual. So, yeah.
I gotcha. Well, I mean, he's a diehard trucker, man. You know, like my new truck, it's automatic. Love it, right?
I don't know if he would let me drive anyways. So, why get it?
Get your CDL this next summer, girl.
Several times.
Yeah. All right, Misty.
Okay. My first pass down the track was on an antique tractor. I'm a huge Swiftie, and I've always wanted to race sprint cars.
I'm going to go with you're not a huge Swiftie. Chase.
I mean, everyone loves Swiftie. How can you not love Swiftie? She's not one of them.
Look at you. You probably wearing a bracelet right now for her.
No, I got underwear on.
Personally, hers?
No, they're boxers, not underwear. They're boxers.
Oh, his facial hair.
I think never pulled an antique tractor. You like that's too slow for you. I think you're not pulling an antique tractor.
Adam, what do you think?
I don't know.
Well, you got to pick one, man.
Well, no shit. You got to answer that. That's part of the game.
I'll take the antique tractor also.
I am not a huge Swiftie.
Oh, really?
Oh. I guess.
Tell us about your antique tractor.
I was 11. It was a barnyard class.
Nice.
In Fisher, Illinois. I got second. I was driving Dickie Miller's Alice Chalmers. Old Spooky. Some of the boys didn't take it very well that I beat them. Ooh. And before the Champaign County Fair rolled around, they deemed Dickie's tractor illegal, and I wasn't allowed to pull.
Really?
Cheater.
Yep. They changed the rules.
Yep.
I know how that feels.
You and Talon need to get together.
You know what? From what I understand, and I don't know this because I've never pulled one a day in my life, but they say the antique pullers are the biggest cheaters out there. I've heard this before. I don't know.
I've heard that. Yeah.
I don't know.
So, ladies, the Two Truths, One Lie, by far the best segment we've ever had, despite me not telling you about it, but it sounded like you're prepared.
Sorry,
last
Misty,
question.
I didn't mean to throw you under the bus with the Swiftie there. I know you guys go to Disneyland an awful lot, so I just thought there was something a little magical about T-Swift.
No, we just like Disney. We're actually going again in March. We're taking Kristen and her two girls.
How many trips a year down there? 4?
No, we go every other year.
Oh, okay.
2024, either one of you can take this. Obviously, the Farmers Junior Show is coming up in a month. Kind of what's it look like? I know you have a mini rod, but where will fans see you guys pulling? What circuit, what classes, when and where for the Midnight Motorsports team as a whole? And kudos to Jared and Jeremy. I don't know. Has anyone said the name Jared and Jeremy all night? Because they are.
Yeah, I believe so.
Both of their. They are both of their husbands and great pullers, good men.
In case where you're not paying attention, the people they want to beat most in pulling are their husbands.
They said husband.
And
They
the
didn't say their
Petros.
names though. They didn't say their names. I don't think anyone ever said husband or nobody ever said Jeremy or Jared.
Chase has
but
been nice
just in
not to
case
have
somebody
all
didn't
this
know.
male masculinity all the time. We don't have to mention dudes all the time. You let the girls talk. If they want.
Yeah, I
Well
see
said.
2024
2024 plans.
Yeah, I see it looking pretty similar. As long as PPL's got the hooks for us. I mean, we haven't seen an official schedule. You hear of talks. So we'll see what they come out with. But when we live in Illinois and the way that PPL schedule works, it's pretty stupid for us not to run it because like last year, our farthest pool was Hillsboro, Wisconsin. Like we're within about 3-4 hours of every single hook. So
Awesome.
yeah, we got a ton of Illinois pools, couple Indiana, all pretty close. And then obviously we'll support the state circuit when it works out. So I don't see things changing. As for the mini rod, I don't really know what their plans are.
I don't either. Things
I
are
feel
going to
like
change. Things will change for me just a little bit. We're going to park Dad's truck for this year. We sold the chassis.
really.
I'm having a new modern built.
Okay.
So
Brad's been busy.
the body hasn't been touched or changed since it was built for Dad. Kind of like Adam, it was a little bittersweet to see the chassis go because it was his. Don't want to change the body up too much again because it was his. His name will be back over the door because that's where it belongs.
Half naked girl in the back of it the whole time.
We're gonna cut her off the bed and
Really?
We're
Hang
gonna
in the
hang her in the
shop?
shop is the
Oh,
plan.
man.
But she will be there somewhere, just not as big. Jeremy says it's kind of gotten a little odd that
man.
I'm driving the truck with a half naked.
He don't want to get canceled. We get it. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a good look, personally.
I think you're gonna have sponsorship opportunities tomorrow. I think.
Yeah. So the plan is if Jeremy's a little busy in the shop right now, if they can get Tanner's truck put together, Brady and I will share driving duties of Tanner's truck for this coming year. Otherwise, it might be the mini rod and one truck.
But we're going to see the mini at a full PPL schedule, right?
That's something the guys would have to answer.
Yeah, I don't even know if there's conflicting pools. I don't even know.
You don't even know where mini rods run, do you?
No. I mean, if they're at our pool, but
But you have to admit, being a fan of the sport, when the mini rods run, you definitely go watch, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
100%. But Misty and I are a fan of pulling in general, so we go watch everything. We're kind of diehards at Bowling Green. We go sit up there and watch it all.
Yep.
Well, since your team won't let you drive a mini rod, if any of you, the two of you, just you two, Bethany and Misty, not anyone else, Tanner, everyone wants to drive a mini rod, just give me a few weeks heads up, and it can't be a points pull, but we'll find somewhere for y'all to drive. So you have an open invite.
Sullivan's.
And it'll probably be safer than your husband's the first few times, just to be honest. I shouldn't say that.
All right, ladies, thank you very much.
They'll do
good.
good.
It was an excellent show.
So,
I'm sure Chase got some stuff he wants to say.
No,
Adam's
shout out
service
to
made
everyone.
it through the whole show, and now it's just dying off. Perfect timing.
Yeah. Pulling fans, thank you guys. Misty, Bethany, thank you. Our best show ever in terms of live numbers. I know it only go more further than that. Pulling is full of great people and great families and great teams, and you guys represent one of the best in the sport. So thank you guys for coming on. Our next episode will be in 2 weeks. My math is bad. I think it's like the 31st, maybe. Yeah, January 31st. We'll be back here, and then after that, we're working on some other fun stuff to do. But thank you guys for tuning in. Go follow the Midnight Motorsports pulling team on social media. And then lastly, hang on. Adam promotes his motors nonstop on here, and Adam is elite in the business. Anyone that you all need to shout out in terms of sponsors and who helps you all make your all show go before we sign off?
Yeah. Give a shout out to our engine builder, which there's a bunch of them. Adam does great work. We use John Card out at Sassy Racing Engine. He's put together a phenomenal program for us, and we're starting to get it figured out. And it's been a lot of fun working with him. SSI Superchargers does well for us. We need the Molly company came on board last year. So they are hopefully all in this year. And like you said, we're hoping to grow the sport through them and get them more involved in pulling, and hopefully they can see what the fun is all about in the pulling world.
That's great that you. I don't want to interject really quick. What do you think about that? How did you guys enjoy like the sponsorship cycle that you went through with Rockstar? Did you enjoy it? Was it work?
Yeah. So the Rockstar, it is a lot of fun. Can be a little daunting at time, but no, the Rockstar deal, which most of those sponsors all came through Lucas Oil,
right.
Which we talk about getting back or getting pulling where it can be. That was a great thing that Lucas did for years when they had a team that literally just went out and found sponsors. And so that's kind of one thing that if these two organizations, if they're wanting to invest some money in something good, investing in somebody that just goes after sponsors probably isn't a bad idea. I know that's a salary and it's not easy, but if I was a company, that's probably where I'd be looking for sure.
We forgot to ask you what you would change in polling. So Bethany,
there's one
what a
thing.
great sign off.
Yeah.
No, that's the ultimate sign off. Let's go get some sponsors. Let's help grow the sport, ladies. We're going to stay on for our typical after party. I know you're already at your 12 drink limit, but Pulling Fans will be back in 2 weeks. Thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors. Greatest motorsport in the world, greatest podcast in the sport of pulling. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Practice Podcast.
Have a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode, where we guarantee there still won't be any practice. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.